What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome to another FanTracks podcast coming to you from fanboysanonymous.com. I am your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me is Robert D. Felice.
All right, Tony. You can only be one, Batman or Superman. Which one are you going to be?
Green Lantern, no.
Ah.
Very much always going to be pro Batman more than Superman, although I've grown to appreciate Superman so much more over the years. Used to not be the biggest fan of him in comparison.
I feel like as much as he's marketed towards kids, that's an adult superhero because you need to be an adult to appreciate the fact that this guy just does the right thing.
Yeah, when you're watching Superman stuff as a kid, you end up being like, he's boring. He doesn't do a whole lot. When you grow up, you're like, no, he's got nuance, damn it. You know why he's not doing anything? Because it's the right thing to do. You little shit. Well, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking Batman. The Batman Superman movie, World's Finest, is one of the ways that you can refer to it. Sometimes it's just the Batman Superman movie. Sometimes you could just say it's 3 episodes of the TV show Superman the Animated Series that were under the banner and the title World's Finest. And that's kind of going to be a little bit confusing about how we do this. But before we get into that, let me just introduce the fact that why we are doing this. This is another Patreon sponsored edition, and big thank you to Guest 5 for sponsoring this edition. What I mean by that is one of the tiers that we have on the Patreon is called Pick Your Poison, and it's a special request type of tier where it functions as kind of like a direct sponsorship. And if you donate to that tier and you obviously pay the money towards it, that's kind of the point, then you can request something, whether it's something like an article on the website or it's a podcast. And in this case, and what we've done in the past couple editions have been fan tracks, because there are some of the more fun things. So, if you want us to watch a movie and do a fan tracks about it, or a movie review, if that's the case, or something like Fanboys Fix It, or one of the other ones in the past was me redoing the Generation 1 of Pokemon. That's kind of the whole point of the whole thing. So if you want to see something in the future, then donate to the Patreon, take advantage of that tier. If you don't have the spare change to do that and you want to just donate $1, then every dollar helps keep the train going. And that's all greatly appreciated. So again, thank you to Guest 5 for this. That's his suggestion was the Batman Superman movie. And what we're going to do here as far as what FanTracks is, for those who don't know what FanTracks is all about, it is an audio commentary track, and you'll be able to listen to our speaking. Yes. You'll be listening to us and what we say and stuff while you watch this along with us. We can't actually provide you the streams or the video content on YouTube or elsewhere because it's copyright. But if you find
time finding it for ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much, because this is not on the DC Universe app. It's not
bullshit. That is such bullshit.
So it's going to be kind of difficult. You might find it in some technically illegal ways and stuff, which we can't officially condone. But however you find it, whether you do it in the 1-shot or in the 3-shot for the episodes and stuff, this is the scenario that we're working with. We are working with watching the 3 episodes back to back. And I'm not going to split this because I figure maybe that's what people are going to do instead too. So if you run into a situation where you're a little bit behind us or something like that, what I'm going to do is I will give you a countdown of 3, 2, 1, play, and you will hit the play button on whatever you've got. And hopefully what you have is the same as what we have, which is that it starts off with the Warner Brothers logo, that little bump, 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 and then it goes into the Superman intro. And it's going to do that for all of the episodes because they're just kind of like one after the other. However, what I'll do just in case is when we get to the intros, I'll point out that we're starting the intro. And when the intro ends and we start getting into the episode, I'll tell you that it ends like right now, that kind of a thing. So that way you can pause and hopefully you'll be synced up correctly. I apologize if you are not able to. This is kind of the best that we can do. So what is FanTracks? Well, I mentioned that that's kind of what we're going to be doing here, but as far as like the content that we bring you guys, we're just kind of watching the movie and shooting the shit, talking about some stuff, cracking some jokes, all that stuff. We're not actually people who worked on the movie, so we can't provide you any kind of details about like the artwork and all that other kind of stuff. Right. But we can talk about how we approach this as fans from back in the day and fans that are watching it now. That's kind of the whole point. It's FanTracks. We're fans. It's Fanboys Anonymous. Kind of got a theme going on here. So I invite you all to join in on the comment section below to watch this along with us and to have as much fun as you can. And as I mentioned before, I will do a 3, 2, 1 play countdown, and we will start with the Warner Brothers logo. So get your DVD or your Blu-ray. I don't know why I threw a W in there. I'm all over the place today. Get your stream, get your whatever. I don't know. Maybe you got a VHS tape, whatever it is. Get that ready. Bypass the FBI warnings and all that because you're going straight to that Warner Brothers thing. And get your popcorn and all the other kind of stuff going because we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, play. Bum, 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 bum. So right now we're on the intro. Let me lower my volume a little bit on my TV. And I love this theme. It's not as good as the John Williams theme, but it's a pretty close second.
You know, like we were saying, I have such a greater appreciation for Superman now. Because for a long time, I just absolutely despised this show and really the character. Because, there's not a lot of conflict morally. Because he's just like, no, I'm going to do the right thing. But, as you get older and you realize how hard the right thing is to do, you appreciate it.
And for context, this came out October 4th, 1997. So I was 10 at the time.
I was 4.
And so that's a big difference right there. All right, the intro is ending right now, and we're on the skyline. The lightning just struck, that kind of thing. So you should see World's Finest up on your screen. Batman the animated series, as we mentioned before, absolutely loved it as a kid. Loved the Superman animated series, but to me, it was almost like, oh man, it's not an episode of Batman, it's an episode of Superman, because they used to do the Batman Superman adventures and stuff.
Right.
I did have a preference. I mean, Batman is my favorite character of all time. So look at Harley with the
black hair.
With the black hair. She looks good.
Looks real good. Good choice for Harley Quinn.
What a stupid gag though. Like this takes a lot of effort to get to that point. Just gas the dude.
Well, is that any fun?
And guy, I mean, we've mentioned it before. Mark Hamill, best Joker.
All right, so this is a new Batman Adventures Joker, where the eyes are just like fucking black.
Yeah. There's some positives and some negatives to those different art designs. Like Batman looks a little bit better. Joker looks
not so much.
Yeah. Harley looks basically the same, but I think she looks a little better right here.
And I think Joker got a little more goofy.
Look at this detail. Now, I haven't seen this movie in years, but I do remember this one detail that they show that when he rips it off of the thing, you heard that like shattered a little bit. I love that later on when they show that, it's actually got like multiple parts that were still stuck on it. They don't do that as often in movies. See it? Like it's even got a little bit on it right there. Oh, this is
Jim Gordon's got different hair than what I usually notice.
Yeah.
Jim, you got a haircut. Why'd you get a haircut? It's got kryptonite on it.
Batman just steals evidence. That's so good. But doesn't Bullock? Yeah. Yeah. Good. I love Bullock. Untapped character in a lot of mediums.
Gordon looks significantly older there. Very weird.
I do remember as a kid watching this, wondering if he just put it in acid. Because I was stupid. Just being like, why would he put that thing in acid? This is my Alfred, as far as I'm concerned, too.
Yeah. Really, I never want those voice actors to die because they're irreplaceable.
The one thing about the Superman series, I knew a lot of the Batman stuff as a kid, but I didn't know a lot of the Superman characters. Like, when Metallo pops up in the series, I kind of knew a little bit of Metallo, but not much. when Mr. Mix's Spitlick pops up. I had no idea what that was. I was just like, why is Gilbert Gottfried voicing something? And, like Parasite and Ultra Humanite and all that, like a lot of them just were completely lost in the shuffle. But you get a Batman Superman crossover and you say that it's revolving around Lex Luthor and Joker. Yeah, I know what that's all about, So this was a good entry point for a lot of people, I think. That's right. Yeah, I totally forgot that all the guns are like lasers.
That was not a typical thing on Batman.
Yeah, they had guns. They had Tommy guns and stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, this is my Lois in a lot of ways too. She's smart, capable, kind of bitchy, but not in a bitchy way. Just
Like
more so.
still wants to be not the damsel in distress, but still wants to be, feminine, and also
Yeah,
just won't take any shit from anybody. A good example of a strong female character.
very much so. Like, yeah, right now, like she is being saved, but she's calm. She knows Superman's got this, and she's not gonna try to take down the people herself and land the plane because that's insane. But she's just sort of like, hey, like, let's kind of do the job here.
That was pretty evil.
The right level assassin stuff, and they don't show the president too. Yeah.
Now you watched this on Kids WB, right?
Whatever it aired originally, I saw whatever that was. So probably, I guess it was Kids WB.
I'm a big fan of the WB, and like this show, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain.
One is genius and the other's insane.
They're laboratory mice.
This is a big step too. Her actually being like, how about we like go on a date?
You know what's weird? It's like if you're asking Superman out on a date, do you expect him to show up at the restaurant in the tights? Or what's the deal?
I think if I were in her shoes, if he showed up into that stuff, I'd be like, dude, don't you wear anything else? And I mean, this voice for Luthor, Clancy Brown, so good. I'll take or leave Tim Daly versus George Newbern. Both sound so similar that if you can't get the one and you get the other one, to me it's kind of a wash. Both of them, absolutely love the voices. But,
shit!
Yeah. But Luthor, man, this is Luthor.
I like my Lex Luthor a little tan. Like he's not like the pale white egghead he's sometimes framed to be, or whatever he was in Batman vs Superman.
Swell, Mr. L. What do you think about Mercy? Because she's like Harley Quinn. She was created for this show before going into the comics.
Well, I'm guessing she's not as iconic.
No, not as much. I'm a big fan of the character, though.
Now, watching this Harley, you just saw Birds of Prey. How do you feel?
I feel so much better watching this. This is Harley. I mean, I know that they changed some things over the years and stuff, but if somebody says, explain to me what Harley Quinn is, I picture the goofy sidekick of the Joker who is completely lovesick, puppy attitude, gets in the way sometimes, and,
She'll go back around in that circle.
Yeah. So now we're fading to black. We're coming back. That was obviously a commercial break, but...
Great commercials. Self Rostenberg's Blake's commercial.
You know what's really cool? Like, they just said rich Corinthian leather. I always like it when they reference stuff like, they can't say, like, the Iraqi War, so they say, like, the Kaznian War, and stuff like that. Like when
they were a lot cleverer back then.
Like, Corto Maltese is always, like, a thing that's, like, a really, like, poor, war-stricken country and all that.
You were a kid for the first
I
Gulf
was a
War,
kid.
right?
A kid for what?
The first Gulf War.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, that
What?
was heavily like marketed towards kids. Like, hey, get these Gulf War guns. It's awesome. Pretend like you're one of the war guys.
I like how Lex is just sort of like, yeah, you're gonna kill Superman.
It's the smartest comment I've ever seen.
Cool moment.
Like, my hero's better than yours. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
And that fast, Luther's just like,
Oh, you can
oh,
do it.
you,
I'm not doing this shit.
yeah, he goes from, oh, bullshit to, oh, wait, okay, legal stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the movie where they fight the giant robot thing?
Potentially. All I remember about this is that Superman wears the bat costume and beats the shit out of it.
Wait, he wears the Batman costume in this? I thought that was
Yeah.
an episode of the TV show. Well, this is technically an episode of the TV show,
Well,
but
there
I thought
you
that
go.
wasn't that the one with Tim and he beats up Bane.
Isn't Tim in this one?
No,
You sure?
pretty sure. I mean, it has been a couple years.
They kind of have the same design.
Yeah, I mean, triangle, square jaw kind of
Yeah,
thing.
very chiseled jaw. His jaw is slightly more chiseled. I don't
Yep.
be a dick, Bruce.
Bruce doesn't have the butt chin. Good suit though.
She's looking good. You know what I like about this? She changed clothes.
Oh yeah. Completely disregards Clark.
I like how Bruce is. No matter what's going on, he always makes time to fuck.
And you know what's I don't know if they did this on purpose, but neat little thing there. Obviously, Bruce is not a bad guy at all, but in that scene, they're both wearing red ties, they're both wearing white shirts, but Bruce has on a black tux,
Right.
black suit,
Black,
and
black suit. Because he's,
Clark's got gray. So yeah,
he's morally not corrupt, but dark.
love those. The generic mobsters on these are always cool.
Oh,
Always
look,
like
it's Paul Heyman.
some real guns, not some laser guns.
I like how like the guns are legitimately different.
That's that dichotomy of Gotham and Metropolis kind of thing going on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hell of a lot of strength on Joker there. That dude's fucking heavy. He picks him up
oh,
and tosses him like he's
he's
nothing.
fucking superhuman, you know. Gotta find somebody to draw me in this style.
So Joker approaches you, says, "You need to be in my crew." What do you do?
Oh, I'm not arguing with him. Fuck. I want to get my hands on those gadgets. I want to get my hands on the person responsible for those gadgets. At least we know Batman is, intelligent and he's got Lucius. Who's doing the Joker shit?
This is that robot that I was thinking of, by the way.
Very advanced technology here for 1997.
Technically, we still don't have that.
We kind of do.
I mean, we have drones, we have like, RC type stuff, but this thing's got a laser.
I think it's like Tesla's. Like They exist. The regular man can afford them, but they exist.
It's like the monolith from 2001. Kind of. Unmanned space travel. That's what Bruce is
We're,
going to get into. A couple years from now, makes the Justice League, has the whole
oh,
watchtower. Makes sense.
oh yeah. And Bruce's moral compass is very strange.
Smart move. Luther's like, fuck you, I'll show you how guns are good. Imagine being on a date with Lois Lane. Yeah, all right, so good. She calls attention to it. To be like, I'm going to go on a date with you, and can we talk about Superman this whole time?
You think everything is steel for old soups over there?
Well, buns of steel. That was a thing back then.
As long as the buns are the only thing in the pants that are made of steel.
That's one of those things in like the comics and everything that people kind of go back and forth about. Some of them are like, how does he cut his hair? Or like, how does he shave his beard? And sometimes they go, well, he just like shaves. It's just like regular. And other times they're like, he needs to bounce off his heat vision from mirrors and all this other kind of crap. And this Bibbo.
So what's his face? Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh yeah, I think that is him. Yeah, I know he voiced Lobo.
Like an oversized Popeye.
Man, I tell you, this little nightclub thing, they would really love that at Batman Beyond.
oh, they get, I think, like a futuristic version of this.
Yeah, it ends up being like a big featured thing though, like it's the hangout.
Less chicks in cages, though. Well, you got chicks in cages. Don't freak out about a man in a bat suit.
Right. Don't be stupid. There you go. You don't fuck with the Batman. Come on. We need a real Batman. Not like these quote unquote real superheroes that are out there where they like, I don't know, help people cross the road and stuff. Nah, give me a vigilante.
I would love real life vigilantes.
It's a good little joke. This is a cool little moment with flipping Superman like that. Superman just being like, "Really? Did Batman just fucking flip me?"
I like how it's immediately upon first like interaction, it's a dick measuring contest, like right away.
Yeah.
You know what I like? He immediately used the X-ray vision.
Yeah, and then you got Bruce immediately using the kryptonite. Just testing
Like
that out.
they're so dick to each other.
And he's got super hearing and he doesn't hear that Batman left.
Well, he's too focused on the fact that, oh shit, I can actually be hurt.
This is upcoming. It's one of my favorite little parts from this whole thing. Not the fact that Superman's tripping. Although,
Wow,
you didn't
he
take a
put
shower?
on clothes quick.
You could take that in the wrong way. Having breakfast with Bruce.
But why didn't you just? Why don't you just fuck Clark? Like, it's the same guy.
He doesn't have the bad boy edge to him.
Take off the glasses.
This is so cool. I love this moment. Far enough away. Just not to necessarily get spotted, but Batman's still a dick, so gotcha. That's the right type of like one upping each other kind of thing. To just be like, yeah, he's he's gonna find out that he's Bruce Wayne. And now we have that to be continued up on the screen, by the way, everybody.
All right, I have to admit, I haven't seen this in a while. This is one of the best, simplest ways to book these two together. I said book.
Yeah.
Sorry, like,
It gets they both know their secret identities. It's establishing that both are capable. There's animosity, but there's not so much animosity that you'd be like, oh, okay, one of them killed the other one's, parents or something like that. All right, so the
at,
Warner Brother thing's going off. We are on a black screen right now, and now the Warner Brothers thing is back up again. So
at
we're
the
on
end of the
the
next one, I have to
intro.
read the credits more closely. It said something about an AOL keyword,
Yeah.
which just fantastic.
So if you're synced up with us right now on the intro, I've got like let's see, punch, robots falling, Superman's flying. You got the plane through a car, that kind of thing. There's Lois. Little piece of shit, Jimmy, little twerp.
Jeez.
Although, as much as I think that Jimmy Olsen's kind of a twerp, it annoyed me that they didn't have him in the Henry Cavill movies. Well, they did technically, but they made him a character that wasn't called that and then killed him. But it's like, Jimmy Olsen's a part of this. You don't have to make him a big deal. You don't have to do Superman's pal. Oh, Alexis, stop it off. I'm not saying anything. All right. Yeah, we're back on previously on the Superman thing. So we're recapping stuff. I will, of course, let everybody know so they can sync up perfectly when we get faded away and all that stuff. Still recap stuff.
All you gotta do is timestamp it.
Well, I'm not going to be able to timestamp too much. And I can't triple stamp a double stamp. All right, we're in black, and we're back. Daily Planet. World's Finest Part 2. A good little thing. I love when Lois has issues like spelling and stuff.
Especially for us.
Hi, Clark. That quick, too. They're already working together.
Ugh. Eh. Piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a little below the belt.
Hey, you dick.
Like the subtext for the whole thing is so good because you're watching this as a kid and you're like, oh, he might go on a date with her, and you look at this when you're an adult and he's like, yeah, he's a couple lines away from going, I'm gonna fuck her real good. Like, gonna go on a date with Lois. I'm gonna dick her down. She's gonna be completely forget about the Man of Steel. You just watch, Clark. I know you're Superman. Fuck off. That kind of thing. Goons. You gotta have goons. This dude jumps out of a fucking bush. What the hell? How long was he waiting in the bush?
I do like Goon.
And in typical fashion, Bruce is like, oh, can't just be Batman. Uh, I'd eat some street pizza. But, I mean, come on. You mean to tell me that none of those bullets hit him? It's some terrible goons.
Well, if they weren't terrible, would they be Goons? They'd just be the main villain.
They'd replace that N with a G. With a D. Not goog. Good. Not goon. The joke failed, but it was had a good idea.
They're not Goons, they're Goods.
Yeah. Isn't it his blimp too? Yeah, it's a blimp there. There's like the amount of blimps that go on in Gotham and Metropolis are so crazy.
I don't even see blimps anymore in real life.
No, I don't remember the last time I saw anything involving a blimp.
Was this guy built off Joe Pesci?
Dan Turpin?
Yeah.
He's got a little Joe Pesci in him. He's got a little Martin Scorsese in him with those eyebrows.
I find it amazing that they can't work together.
Oh, it'd be awfully short if they're like, so you're a superhero? Yeah, I'm a superhero. Buds? Cool. And then they just, beat the shit out of Joker. That's the end. Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, kind of thing.
But it's that immediate like macho, like you can't be better than me.
Yeah. The right level of sass. This Lois is so good.
Would you kill Superman for $1 billion?
Nah. You need soups.
No, soups are delicious, but would you kill Superman?
Chicken noodle's better than tomato.
It's not though, but we'll leave that up to you in the comments to decide.
Like, can I get some airport space here? I need a hangar so I can have a plane come out of a plane. Right now, Dan Turpin's thinking Marvel movies are just attractions. They're theme parks. They're not cinema. It would be kind of interesting if you swapped dance partners with some certain characters, like Superman. Obviously, he's got a completely different way for him to go about solving crimes than Batman. Batman's going to do the legwork. He's going to research where all the places are and stuff. Superman's pretty much like, oh, it's a building. I'm going to go like headbutt the fucking building.
But he can afford to do that.
Would you headbutt a building for $1 billion?
I think I would. I mean, like, I wouldn't be able to utilize that million, but shit, I'd headbutt a building.
I never liked this design.
Of Joker.
No, the suit that Soup has on. I get like they're going for the whole lead based and the kryptonite's not going to affect him and all that, but it just looks so dumb. Like, what's up with the suit having that type of
Head.
the arms, like I mean the gloves, I mean, and like, did he really need to put the Superman logo on it?
Yeah, how the fuck else are you gonna know?
Be like, oh no, this guy's flying and he looks like Superman.
It's Clark Kent.
Are
Like,
you by any chance the Flash? I love that
I,
episode of the Justice League where nobody knows Booster Gold's name, and the little kid's like, "I thought you were Green Lantern." Imagine if that's how Superman dies. Joker just chucks a thing of kryptonite at him, hits him in the chest, and then he's just like, "Ah, I'm dead." You know.
Batman through the bat hole.
Is this another innuendo for his date with Lois?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he went in the bat hole.
Another thing I'm really fond of with this series, they always gave Joker this carnival kind of theme. Works really well. And we haven't seen the electric joy buzzer in any movies recently. Only with Jack Nicholson. They should bring that back.
I think because it's a level of playful that some people just don't want to be because they want to be seething, brooding, crazy Joker.
You're that bad of a shot that Batman's just running down the steps and you can't hit him.
You ever shoot a gun?
Nope. Haven't thrown a batarang either. Or grabbed two people's heads and clunked
So
them.
you've seen the axe tossing, right?
Yeah, I might do that at some point.
Do that in like a comic book bar, but make it batarangs.
That'd be so cool. Theoretically, right? Batman could have just done right then. He could have just thrown the kryptonite.
Batman is, I mean, Joker looks like he's ready to have a celebratory fuck too.
HCl. I wonder if he's going to use HCl, hydrochloric acid. I remember that. The curl's still in place.
I love the curl. As geeky and as Boy Scout as it can be, like, it really is a good look.
It is good too that they. I mean, some of these things are convenient, but they had the Batman series, they had the Superman series. Eventually, they go with the Justice League. It should be the foundation of that these two get to know each other, and these two are the first ones that really like work together and everything. So this right here, this is the foundation for an entire whole nother series. Just fun to think about because I remember watching this when it was on and not thinking that they would ever have like Wonder Woman and Aquaman and all that kind of stuff. Well, Aquaman pops up in Superman still. And I've never played that type of game of marbles.
I love the fact that if you look at all the characters in Gotham, they've really do take household items that are just like, yeah, these are deadly weapons now.
I mean, if you got Condiment King, you got it pretty much everything.
I can't believe that's a real thing.
Yeah.
The Lego Batman movie was fun.
Huge fan of the Lego Batman movie.
You sound a little resentful there, Soups. Are you wishing Bruce Wayne dead in the fire?
He's fine, Lois. He's Batman. Like, I'm pretty sure if it was a nuclear explosion, this would have been a bigger issue.
That's not the first time she's said eat me, eat me, made
But this is the first time that she prefaced it with, I'm Batman.
I don't think so.
I don't remember who's shooting at him at this point. Oh, okay, it's just her. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Mercy Graves character. Give me her over like Miss Tessmacher, where oh god, I'm blanking on the name from what's the one in the Kevin Spacey movie? It was Parker Posey played her.
Gonna do a quick search.
I'm blanking on her name. But they kind of serve similar roles, but Mercy's better. She's got more character to her, you know, being the chauffeur. Sometimes they give it to where she's got like a robotic arm.
Superman Returns.
Yeah. Parker Posey's character. Can't think of her name for some
Was
reason.
Spacey at Kitty Kowalski?
Kitty Kowalski.
It's very close to Killer Call.
Look, it's a standard Divas match. It's over in a minute.
They didn't rip each other's clothes off enough. Even though they did rip something.
Oh, poor Harley. Another change for Lois.
Hey, they're small, Bill. Like,
How could she afford this apartment though?
she
Look
makes
how
good.
big this area is. This is fucking huge. And this is like a museum or something. Like that giant window. I mean, at least like Lex's place right here. He's a billionaire. Makes sense. She's a reporter and she's got something the size of like an institute.
He's so afraid of him. Oh,
Yeah, that that punch right there. Doesn't even turn around. I think you actually might be a couple seconds ahead of me. Somehow.
we'll fix that.
For anybody that's tracking based off of my thing, he just jumped and he's down.
Yep.
So door opened.
I fixed it.
So, like that guy shades.
Very Men in Black.
Mercy takes a fucking beating in this movie.
Yeah.
This is what, the fourth time that she's gotten her ass kicked?
She deserves it. And like she seems like she can take it, so therefore she deserves it. It's very close to Lewis and Clark.
Yeah. Oh, they go on adventures. What kind of computer is that, by the way?
That was like a word processor.
It's a typewriter with a green little LED thing on top of
There
it.
was no screen. That's amazing. What's Alfred doing throughout the course of this movie?
Making dinner.
Oh man.
Maybe he was the one procuring all that workout equipment.
Hey!
He was doing some ironing.
Just perpetually ironing.
Yeah, when in Rome, act like the Romans. When in Metropolis, motherfucker, you can't actually fly, so.
Come on, guys. You knew better.
Yeah, it's a blinking, beeping thing. It's a bomb. It's the Joker. Come on.
You knew much better than that. I'm ashamed of both of you.
Bruce just casually gliding. The joy on his face. Cool little moment. Now, I think that this is the part of the movie that I've seen like the least, because now it's to be continued. I don't remember up until the end of the movie, like this little chunk. We're currently on the end credits, by the way, everybody.
All right. Okay. Let's see.
I mean, I kind of remember them fighting the robot. Obviously I know that they survive, all that other kind of stuff, but it has been a couple years since I've seen this at the very least. Kids WB.
WBAnimation.com or search AOL keyword Kids WB. Yes. I feel like jumping on the Wayback Machine and seeing what we got.
And credits are fading out. We've got the WB thing up now. And we're on credits again. This is the last of the credits, so sync that up, everybody, if you were, explosion. Bum, bum, bum,
I need some time-based heroes and villains.
Like
You
Kronos?
think I'd be a fan of... Kronos is the guy I'm thinking of. You think I'd be a fan of Doctor Who? I just... not. But, I like time and the concept of it.
I'm a big fan of having time.
I'm just a big fan of, manipulating it. Or the fantasy that you'd be able to.
Yeah, if you have not watched that Justice League episode of the Kronos thing, it's a two-parter, if I remember correctly. Definitely check it out.
Isn't that the one with where Terry McGinnis finds out that he's actually Bruce Wayne's kid?
No, not that one. That one's epilogue. But they do have Batman Beyond and stuff, right? We're back on the thing previously on Superman, so we're on the recap thing as well. Now the Kronos one, they incorporate Warhawk, and that's that whole thing.
Where he accidentally kills somebody? Or no, That's a different character.
Warhawk is the son of GL and Hawkgirl. And we're back. World's Finest Part 3. When they did the Batman v Superman movie and they announced that it was going to be called Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, I was so disappointed. I really wanted it to be World's Finest. Now, obviously, they couldn't have just called it World's Finest. They needed Batman and Superman in the title, but they could have called it Batman versus Superman World's Finest or Batman and Superman World's Finest, that kind of thing. Public Enemies, too. Did you ever see that movie? That one's really good. I remember.
That they took all that off DC Universe.
That's so
So
ridiculous.
next time somebody requests Public Enemies, I gotta try to find it again.
You know what? I maybe you disagree about this. What? How do you? Where do you picture? I should say, Gotham and Metropolis being, because there's different philosophies.
Gotham is absolutely like this weird cross between Roaring Twenties New York and like a cyberpunk New York. Metropolis, I would even argue like somewhere like Seattle. Like, Metropolis doesn't necessarily need to be a big northeastern city. It could be, Chicago for all we know. For that matter, with all the gangsters, Gotham could be Chicago.
To me, it makes sense if they're close to each other, but
Like New
sometimes
York, New
they,
Jersey.
yeah, sometimes they say it's one thing, sometimes they say it's another thing. More often than not, what they usually say is it's either two neighboring cities separated by the same bay, like they are in Batman v Superman, or, and this is the one that I subscribe a little bit more to, that Gotham is in New Jersey and Metropolis is like DC.
I don't buy uh Gotham being Jersey just because I like Gotham.
But at the very least, it's not in my area because we don't have cities like this. But they say a lot that it's supposed to be around Atlantic City, like Mystic Island and all that.
That's kind of why I like that Stanley was like, nah, fuck it. They're in New York.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you had a little transistor like Jimmy Olsen, you were his best friend, you'd be able to call him. That always is funny. Like, do you notice the little fire extinguisher that when they were running there, it was very clearly a different color?
Yeah, and then
These
you get there and it's purple.
these TV shows, they used to so often do a slightly different color for something if it was going to stand out. And if you actually like try to pay attention to it, you can always tell what it is. Like uh for instance, like the machines in the background. If one of them's going to do something and the other ones aren't, it's going to be a different color, like a slightly popped out more color. Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed up as Batman?
Oh wow, she figured it out, or she knows. She has to know, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna progress that fast. He introduces himself. They go on like 2
Yeah,
dates,
like
and it's like,
I'm gonna take back my comments about you being a strong woman. Like, you just met the guy and you already want to. Hey, now that you know he's Bruce, can you put together that suits as Clark, please?
right, yeah. That, for that matter, my Lois knows. My Lex knows. Because why wouldn't Lex know? You know, he's that smart. You mean to tell me he doesn't put like some kind of a tracker in there somewhere, or just deduce the fact that he looks exactly the same and all that? And Lois works with the guy. Like, she'd have to be a complete idiot if she didn't know.
There's the argument. Oh shit. There is. I mean, you could tell them to keep the mask on once or twice. My comments are very sexual tonight.
Yeah, they are. This is kind of one track mind when it comes to Lois. As if it's like so far in for Batman to work in a partnership. You've had Robin, dude.
Well, no. This is not a partnership that he can mold.
Uh,
At
learn
least
from
kiss her or something. Or, just disappear.
He's
Like,
such a dick. I love Batman. I'm just like flat out watching the movie now. I really forgot that I'm doing FanTracks.
that's how you know it's good.
Yeah. God, it's such a good laugh.
Stab him in the throat, man. Like,
Nah, he's got a monologue first. At this point, like Mercy's gotten beaten up so much that it's like she kind of deserves to kill him, you know.
I'm
And
really
she
enjoying
goes down
watching
again.
Mercy get the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah, where are you gonna park that thing, Joker? And that paint has to dry.
Big material.
Yeah. Oh, I know I've heard that noise before.
That's a video game.
Oh, that sound effect sounded so familiar. Maybe it was just on another episode of this or something, but that sound effect sounded really familiar. If anybody knows, drop a comment below. I highly doubt it, but
It could have been used for so many things.
yeah, just punch the damn thing. You gotta learn from each other. It's like, Clark, you do realize you're goddamn Superman, right? You can like flick people and send them into the atmosphere. I know what it is. I'm
What is
pretty
it?
sure I know what that sound effect is.
What
There's an
is it?
episode of South Park where they're trying to figure out the offensive words, and they have these little things hooked up to people's heads, and they're asking like, do you find like this word offensive? And it's something like bench, and like nobody does anything. chair, and one person's like bleep, and then he goes stupid wop dago, and then it's like beep 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 beep, that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure that's the same sound effect. And why the fuck would I know that off the top of my head? I'm
Yeah,
a
that's very
maniac.
obscure.
I'm gonna have to double check that at some point, and if that ends up being the same exact one, then I don't know. Then that's very sad. But not the coolest looking robots. I gotta admit.
Yeah,
It,
it was
it looks
97.
well, it looks functional, so I'll give them a pass when it comes to that. Like it needs the claws to be able to go with the terrain, like they were talking about, but it's not the most dangerous looking out of all the bunch. Although, yeah, it is kind of weird that they have a machine gun at the top. The laser thing you can understand because it's got to cut through the rocks and stuff. The machine gun, I don't think I would send these into war.
Why not?
They only have that little tiny machine gun at the top.
How are we not doing more machine warfare? Like, how have we not just started sending machines?
Skynet hasn't made them yet. That's why.
Good point.
Although at this point, this episode aired October 4th, 1997. It would have already gone by August 29th, 1997. That was pretty bad, that little animation there.
For context, Tony, this was probably a big weekend in your life. This crossover episode aired, and the very next day was the first ever Hell in a Cell match.
October 5th, 97. Huh.
Yeah.
Man, go back in time to being a kid and being like, yo, you're going to watch Batman and Superman in a cartoon together. By the way, tomorrow. Like, this probably was one of those days where, like, because I didn't watch Hell in a Cell live. So I'm sure I would have, like, checked out Monday Night Raw afterward and just been like,
No.
that's so. It just goes like, remember, I have this. Oh fuck! Now it actually hurts me. It would have affected him to begin with. Like, come on, that's hokey. Love the show, love the series, but that's a little hokey moment there.
I like how
Cool
it's
little
now
moment
the
too.
inverse, where the villains are like fighting each other, and Batman and Superman are working together.
Look at this destruction going on. One of those buildings, almost a third of it collapsed in one shot. If you lived on the Earth, like whether it's Marvel or DC, and these things happen all the time, like that was nothing right then. He blew up like 5 buildings, and it's not even going to be an issue.
It's funny how they stopped doing shit like that after, like, when 9/11 happened, they just stopped.
Oh, they kind of realized at that point that like when one building goes down in the middle of a big metropolis area, that it's kind of a big deal. Instead of just like, well, we destroyed half the city, but it'll be fine tomorrow.
Oh, this is new.
You know, remember he's always had Wolverine claws?
You think those are on loan from Selena?
Yeah.
Another thing, why isn't Superman trying to fuck Selena Kyle?
When
You
he just
know,
goes to Gotham and it's just like, fine, I'll take this one then, or something like.
no, like if you're gonna steal the one that you know I'm after, I'm just gonna go after her.
Nah, he's too honorable. The end. Superman's dead.
What a bullshit ending. Oh, he's not dead. Ba ba da ba. Ba ba.
I gotta give him credit for this though. That little lead line door thing, like that's cool. It's a good way for them to do that.
Your time is up. My time is now.
This thing just shatters all over the place.
Man, you just saw. That is pretty cool. Like, me being obsessed with 90s pop culture. Like, you see Batman and Superman crossover, and then you're gonna finally see, like, The Undertaker's brother. Like, that's a big weekend.
A couple weeks after that, you got Halloween. Just like
Yeah.
this month is awesome. You're a little kid.
That's everything you want.
I wish I could remember what I actually dressed up as that year. Might have actually been Batman. I was Batman multiple times, so
So is Bruce.
I don't think I ever went as Bruce Wayne.
That's something for you to do this year.
Look at reuse the shot. That's exactly the same shot as what it was before.
I
That
like
must be
that they're
so
not
fun.
even fucking untying him.
Yeah, that must be cool though. Like when you're Superman, to just be like, okay, I'll just rip the seat out because I'm Superman. I can do that. I think he starts laughing, right? Yeah, that's so good.
Oh, oh! Whoa! That's fucking. That is fucked up. Oh, he's dead! Yo, that's fucking.
Oh, I forgot about that line. Oh, it's so
They
good.
just. They just killed the Joker!
Well, Superman, I mean, Batman just being like, yep, he's toast.
Wait, how did they not save him or anything? Like.
That's funny. Ice cream better than pudding, by the way.
Oh, but
Pudding
you
better
can't
than
beat a
Jello.
good pudding.
I'm curious if Angela Chen was in the comics before. I don't know for sure. Yeah, he'll get off.
On a lighter note,
I believe that's Maggie on the left, Maggie Sawyer. Poor Mercy.
who does her?
Mercy?
Yeah.
She is. Let's double check that. Lisa Edelstein. Or Edelstein. I don't know. It is interesting, like when we saw Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Dana Delaney does the Andrea voice, and she ended up, they liked her so much when they brought her in for Lois. And to me, I hear Dana Delaney, I'm like, oh, that's Lois.
Yeah, it is. I gotta say, I love the relationship between these two.
There's like a little bit of fun, like escapism whenever they do something where like Batman threatens Superman, because you know that Superman could just win any fight theoretically, and the idea that he's always just sort of like, yeah, but I'll get you, and that Superman more often than not thinks that that's true. You know,
Because Superman knows.
it's a cool little dynamic. I like that. And since
Fucking great,
we're on
man.
the end credits of that, yeah, 3
I gotta go
episodes
to
of a TV
AOL
show.
keyword kids WB.
I didn't have AOL as a kid. Never got a chance to use the keywords.
I very much had AOL as a kid. I got my first taste of the internet in like the year 2000, and AOL was still very much a thing.
Well, my video is done, but maybe yours isn't necessarily. But we're still wrapping up here because why not? Um, yeah, I mean, you can't say much about any of these DCAU stuff without kind of repeating yourself when it comes to the idea of like how good they are because they're just so good. Like the worst episodes of these TV shows after Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited. I don't really count Static Shock. Doesn't really count. But out of those four shows and all the spin-off material like Batman Beyond and the movies and all that, the worst episodes are still good. And something like this is rock solid. It's an hour. It's 3 episodes of the show. You're a kid, you're watching this. It's Batman and Superman for the first time. You got the Joker in there, you got Harley, you got Mercy, you got Luthor, you got robots, you got romance stuff with the Lois Lane material. Lois finds out that he's Bruce Wayne. Like, they checked off a lot of things in this.
Yeah, and I guess the reason they were able to do that is because it was a Superman show, so it was a lot more inconsequential.
Well, at this point, I think that the Batman show had ended. I remember for sure the timeline on that.
Well, they had constantly ended it, brought it back, ended it, brought it back.
And then, eventually bring about with Justice League and
And Batman Beyond, Justice League, they had everything going.
so good. Big, big fan. Of course, as always, thank you, Guest 5, for suggesting something that's awesome.
Yeah, I always want to do more. Like, like I want to get into. We've talked about this privately, but like the Mount Rushmore of superheroes, the Mount Rushmore of superhero cartoons. Like,
I
there's so much good stuff.
I could legitimately, probably even just by myself, go on for 2 straight hours of who I think that the Mount Rushmore of Batman villains are. If you put a microphone in front of me, I have one right in front of me right fucking now. Uh, if I put a microphone in front of my face and just said, "Let me see how long I can go," I probably could get a 2-hour podcast just out of me talking to myself about it, let alone us breaking down that kind of stuff. So I'm always more into the idea of more Batman stuff, more Superman stuff, more Spider-Man, more X-Men. Not too familiar when it comes to something like Fantastic Four, but I know some of my stuff when it comes to Fantastic Four. So
I wish there were more movies of stuff like a Spider-Man per se, because listen, if you want to donate to the Patreon and have us watch that whole series from '94, like, sure, that's why I have Disney Plus.
Shocker!
You can't escape me. I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. So,
Oh man, I love it. Yeah, if you do want to see more of this, donate to the Patreon. We do have that. That's just a regular thing. And it doesn't have to be necessarily this. Maybe you have something completely different in mind. Maybe you're like, man, I really want them to see this really awful movie called blah blah blah. I don't know. Or maybe you're really interested in that Mount Rushmore idea that we were just talking about, or something like that. Just pitch some ideas. We'll try to figure out something that'll make you happy. But anytime we get to do one of these, very, very awesome. Love revisiting that. Love the support from Guest 5. Love all the support from everybody that you guys are out there doing whatever you're doing. Maybe it's just subscribing to the YouTube channel, ringing that little bell for the notifications, hitting that like button. Maybe you're sharing stuff. Maybe you're following us on Facebook and Twitter. Any of that kind of stuff. It's all awesome. Especially when it comes to like the merchandise shops. We got TeePublic and Redbubble where you can pick up some stuff. Or maybe you're just leaving a comment. It's another good thing. So tell us what you thought of World's Finest. Tell us what else you got in mind and what you'd like to see in the future. And it's kind of rounding out some of my plugs. Yeah, obviously, you should check out Smart Cat Moment if you're interested in the wrestling stuff that we were talking about, but it's a completely different animal. Rob, what do you want to toss out there?
unfortunately, I am firmly planted in the pro wrestling world and can only throw out wrestling plugs like Fightful.com and WrestleZone.com. That's where I am the majority of the week, whether it's podcasting or writing the news. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dude Fleece. I would love to make more of this content. Can't say it enough.
And I can't echo that enough. So the more support you guys show for Fanboys Anonymous, the more that we can do. And if you want to check out some of the old things that we've done in the past, some other editions of the FanTracks podcast, or some other different types of articles, or some other podcasts in general. I mean, I just put up my Sonic the Hedgehog review. So if you want to know if that movie's good enough to check out, then check out that review point. Blah, blah, blah. You know how this works. Go right to fanboysanonymous.com and start clicking. But at least for this edition, that's going to do us in. Thank you for listening, everybody. It's time for us to geek out.